everyone, and welcome back. We're diving into Bob Proctor's You Were Born Rich today, a book that really makes you think differently about wealth.
Yeah, it really changes your perspective.
It does. It's not your typical get-rich-quick scheme. We're going beyond that. We're going deep into, the real principles of wealth.
Absolutely.
And to help us unpack these ideas, I am so happy to have expert speaker with us.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
They are masters at taking complex ideas and making them crystal clear. So you ready to dive in?
Let's do it.
All right, so Proctor starts his book, and this is what really, stopped me in my tracks. He talks about these 8 incredibly wealthy financiers from the 1920s. They were at the top of their game. But get this. Within 25 years, their lives were in ruins. Bankruptcy, mental breakdowns, even suicide. It's this stark reminder that just having money doesn't equal fulfillment, doesn't equal happiness.
Yeah, it's so easy to fall into that trap of thinking that more money equals more happiness.
Right.
But Proctor uses this story to highlight that. True wealth is not about the amount of money. It's really about your mindset and aligning your mindset with prosperity.
It's about a wealth mindset. So then what does being rich actually mean? I mean, what does that mean to you?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
Right? It's different for everyone. But I think Proctor would say that it's this combination of financial well-being, of course, but it also encompasses your relationships, the things that you pursue, having a sense of contribution. It's really about living a life of abundance in all areas.
And it makes me think about those times I've clung to something, whether it's money or even just possessions, out of fear, instead of using it to actually enhance my life. I remember there was this one time I refused to buy a new laptop, even though mine was barely functional. And I told myself, oh, I'm being responsible. But in reality, I was holding myself back.
It's easy to get caught in those cycles.
Totally.
But I think Proctor challenges us to examine our beliefs around money. Is it a source of stress? Or can you look at it like a tool to create the experiences and the opportunities you want?
It's funny because he says money's like a servant, not the master. We need to use it wisely, make it work for us.
For sure.
Instead of the other way around.
Absolutely.
And a big part of that is understanding that wealth, it's not just about luck. Proctor really emphasizes that. He says, yeah, luck might play a small role.
Yeah.
But true wealth, it's a result of your service, your effort, and really mastering the principles of money.
You have to understand how it works.
And he illustrates this with the story about old Mr. Chapman. Imagine this. A man who hoarded a fortune, literally lived like a pauper, but had vast sums of money hidden away.
Wow.
So he had all this money, but he never let himself enjoy it.
It's what's the point then?
I know. What is the point?
Yeah.
And it's a good reminder that money needs to flow. It has to circulate to have real value.
It's like that saying, the more we drink, the thirstier we become.
Right. If you never let yourself experience the good it can bring, what's the point?
Exactly.
It's almost like we forget to actually live, We get so caught up in the pursuit of money. And it makes me think about how we often feel like we're just going through the motions.
Right.
Instead of consciously creating the life we want.
Yeah, you've hit on a key point because Proctor says that. Most people, we're like extras in our own movie. We're reacting to circumstances rather than directing our lives.
Oh, I like that.
But the good news is we have a powerful tool to change that.
Okay, what's that?
Our imagination.
He's talking about visualization, right?
Exactly.
That we can actually attract the things we want, including wealth.
It all starts as an image in our minds. Think about the first chair that was ever created.
Okay.
Someone had to envision that, right?
Okay.
Imagine its form, its function, before they could even build it.
So if everything starts with a thought, does that mean that we're all capable of creating incredible things? We just have to, harness the power of our minds.
Proctor would say it's not always easy, but it is simple. And he uses real-life examples.
Like what?
Take John Canary, for example. He used visualization to achieve incredible success. And it all started with holding a clear image in his mind of what he wanted and truly believing that it was possible.
So our beliefs really do shape our reality. Because if we're constantly telling ourselves oh, I'm not good enough or I'll never be wealthy, we're putting up our own roadblocks.
Yeah, it's like Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
That's a good one.
And Proctor reminds us that we're capable of far more than we realize. But we have to shift that mindset from one of limitation to one of possibility.
It's like that feeling you get when you finally commit to something you were afraid of, and then you're like, wait a minute, I can do this.
Exactly. And that brings us to another crucial aspect. Stepping outside of your comfort zone.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
Proctor says that sometimes playing it safe can be riskier than taking a chance.
Really? How so?
Well, think about it. If you're always playing it safe, you might miss out on opportunities.
You stay stuck.
Yeah, you never reach your full potential.
That makes sense.
He uses this example of fighter pilots during World War II.
Mm-hmm.
And studies actually found that the most cautious pilots were often the first casualties.
Oh, wow.
Their fear and hesitation actually made them easier targets.
That's a powerful analogy.
It shows that taking calculated risks can be the key to unlocking those rewards.
So it's not just about being reckless.
No, not at all.
It's about taking those calculated chances, right?
Exactly, calculated action. And he tells this great story about Bob McCrary, who finally overcame his fear to start his own business.
Okay, tell me more about Bob.
So he's already successful, but he had this dream of being his own boss.
I feel that.
And he took a leap of faith, a calculated risk, to leave that security. But it allowed him to tap into his potential.
He was able to reach even higher.
Exactly.
It makes you think about those dreams we put off out of fear. What's that one thing you've always wanted to do?
But haven't taken that first step.
Right, you hold yourself back.
Totally.
But while taking those first steps is so important, Proctor also emphasizes the need for consistent effort.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
He introduces this concept called the razor's edge.
The razor's edge.
Yeah, have you heard of that?
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard the term, but...
He illustrates it with this example. The 1976 Olympic 100-meter dash.
Okay, yeah.
Can you imagine the pressure of that race?
Oh, I can't even imagine.
A tenth of a second
Wow.
separated the gold medalist from last place.
That's insane. It really is those small margins, those small efforts.
Exactly. It's those consistent small efforts that matter.
Mm.
Proctor talks about Heinz Dow's, this salesperson who doubled his income.
No way. How'd he do that?
He just replicated his most productive month.
So instead of like those peaks and valleys, he stayed consistent.
Yeah, consistency is key.
Wow.
And it's that power of one more sale, one more effort,
Just keep going.
It all adds up.
It's like that saying, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Exactly. And it's not just about taking the step. It's about putting one foot in front of the other. Every single day.
Showing up.
Like Milt Campbell, the Olympic gold medalist, he wasn't the most naturally gifted athlete.
Really?
But his dedication, his willingness to go the extra mile.
That's what made him a champion.
Exactly.
It's inspiring to see that effort can really outdo raw talent.
It's all about the mindset.
It makes you think about what you could achieve if you put in that consistent effort,
Absolutely. And that leads us to the final principle, Proctor's vacuum law of prosperity.
Okay, love the name.
It emphasizes letting go of the old to make room for the new.
Oh, I love that. Clearing out the clutter, both physically and mentally, right?
Exactly.
To let that abundance flow in the...
He tells this great story about a woman named Marg. She desperately wanted new drapes for her home.
Okay.
But she refused to take down the old ones because she couldn't afford the new ones yet.
Oh, I've been there.
So she was holding on to those old drapes.
Even though they weren't serving her anymore.
Exactly. So Proctor challenged her, just remove the old drapes.
Yeah.
Create that void, that vacuum.
I love that.
And nature abhors a vacuum, right?
Yeah.
When we let go of something, something new will come in.
You make space for it.
Exactly. And this doesn't just apply to our physical spaces, but our minds too.
Declutter those thoughts.
Exactly. Let go of those limiting beliefs, the negative thoughts, the old patterns that hold us back.
To make room for those new opportunities.
Yes.
It makes you think, what am I holding on to that's blocking abundance?
Right. Declutter, limiting beliefs.
Even relationships.
It's about letting go to grow.
I love that.
And remember, it doesn't have to be this huge, overwhelming thing.
Yeah.
Start small. What's one thing you can release today?
What a great takeaway.
Right.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Bob Proctor's You Were Born Rich. Such an insightful journey.
It really is a powerful book.
So as you go about your day, think about this.
Yeah.
What resonated with you the most? And what's one small step you can take right now to embrace these principles and create more abundance? Until next time, everyone, keep diving deep.